fashion is all about trends and what's sort of cool and relevant at that moment. Style is much more about how we present ourselves to the world. What I did realise is when I stopped, I was absolutely exhausted to the core. And I think it took me probably the best part of 2 years of trying to pace myself post Amanda Wakeley before beginning to get some of my energy back. I'd lost my business, I'd lost my brother within 2 weeks of each other, both of which I knew were coming, but when it happens, it hits you like a freight train.
Hello and welcome to Second Act, the podcast and community for women in midlife who refuse to fade into the background. I'm your host, Ateh Jewel, and I'll be speaking to celebrity guests about the moment they knew they were in their second act and how they're changing the game in their next one. Our guest for today's episode is Amanda Wakeley, an iconic British designer who launched her label back in 1990 and has dressed royalty including Diana, Princess of Wales. Amanda Wakeley, welcome to Second Act. Amanda Wakeley, I'm so overexcited. Welcome to Second Act.
It's such a pleasure to be here. And Ateh, I just love having a natter with you anyhow.
Thank you so much for coming. I wanted to ask you, if you could summarise your first act in just 3 words, what would it be?
It would be focused, passionate, and resilient.
I love that, because you're a grafter, Amanda Wakeley. Talk to me about focused. What does that mean to you?
I was just focused in the most driven way. And so it would either be focused or it would be driven. I felt like I was on this mission to create things that I loved personally. And it's tough. The fashion business is really, really tough. And so it was bloody hard work, hugely long hours. And, you just have to be resilient and you've got to get up again. And, when you're knocked down and someone says no, you've just got to get back up again and
keep going. Because you're so talented, but talent isn't enough, is it, to have a business and then be an artist?
It really isn't. And, it takes talent, hard work, being really savvy, and then a healthy dose of luck, too.
If you were to give yourself a report card for the first act, what would it say?
Tried really, really hard, worked crazy hours, possibly just focused totally on the product, on the client, and would have been useful to have worked the press harder.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you got head girl energy, Amanda Wakeley? I'm feeling you do. Did you want a perfectionist? You wanted to get everything right?
I'm a proper Virgo, so total perfectionist. Was I head girl? No, I was de-prefected, if you really want to know.
Oh, I love that! But you have that drive, that passion, you want to get it right. Where does that come from? Is it in your family? Is it like how... It's so interesting. So some people's families are either like, you need to be a type A winner, or some are loosey-goosey, and then you go the other way. What was your family like? It
was incredibly loving, and it was very much, we've given you a great education. It's the late 70s, early 80s. That's it. So you're on your own. We're there. We love you. Go out and see the world and do what you can. And if it all ends up in a heap, we're here for you. But you've got to do this yourself, and we will be right behind you. But there ain't no big trust fund here.
I love
waiting
that.
for you. So it was, yeah.
Get on, crack on.
Crack on, yes. So I feel really blessed, actually, that there was no big trust fund, that this was... this was my effort, and just get on with it.
I think there's something really glorious not having a safety net.
Totally.
It's scary, and I feel the same. Like, I love Viking culture, and they used to literally burn their bridges because there's no way home. You have to pillage across the land, and I feel it's the same way.
You know what? I've got to have my DNA done because
you're so Viking. I can smell it.
I feel like I'm a Viking, but I'm also a big believer in no plan Bs. Just stick with plan A, and yes, you can evolve, but if you have a plan B, you're going to need it.
Yeah, it's true. Failure is not an option, is what I used to say to myself.
Yeah.
And did you have a vision for yourself? Did you think, Amanda Wakeley, designer, brand, is that what you dreamt about at school, or did you see this for yourself?
Not at all. I left school. My parents insisted that I did sort of at least a personal assistance course, so
secretarial. Everyone have it under your belt.
And I'm really glad I did that because I can touch type now, so I can look up and I'm still tapping away, and that's a really useful skill. I know it sounds silly and probably everyone can do it now.
Of the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was a bit of accounting, a bit of law. It was a bit of life skills. Then I took myself off to America for 4 years, and that was really a leap into the unknown. But what I learned there, that was my sort of university of life, was just this culture of anyone can do anything they want as long as they apply themselves.
Was that New York? You were in New York?
I was in Florida for 2 years, and I was in New York for 2 years.
Talk to me about what your American experience was like.
It was fabulous. I mean, I left cold, wet England, and I moved, and I could walk down the beach every morning, and it was 360 days a year sunshine, and I just loved that. Was it good for my skin? Probably not, but hey-ho.
Hey-ho.
And then I moved up to New York, which just opened my eyes so fully into the world of fashion and all the opportunities, and by that time it was sort of mid-80s. It was so exciting.
God, what a glorious time to be in New York.
And also the American designers, sort of Ralph Calvin, Donna Karan, they were all huge then, really bursting through. And I loved that aesthetic. And so it was so inspiring.
I love Donna Karan. That shoulder pop and that whole look. And
yeah, just sexy and effortless.
Effortless, easy and comfortable.
Yeah.
What does second act mean to you?
Oh, my God, Ateh. I mean, to me, the second, third, fourth, fifth chapters in our life, I like to think of life in chapters rather than, youth, middle age, old age, because I love this business that we're constantly evolving. And weirdly, I mean, if you asked me 4 years ago how I would feel about what was happening to me, I was like a rabbit in the headlights. I'd lost my business, I'd lost my brother within 2 weeks of each other, both of which I knew were coming. But when it happens, it hits you like a freight train. And then I was working with this amazing grief counsellor called Julia Samuel, and she is literally the goddess of grief. She saved my sanity. And I've never been big on therapy, but wow, did she help unpick what I was going through, make sense of it, and just help me heal myself and grieve and then heal myself. And she referred to it as being in this liminal space. So you're between one space and another. And she said, what you're in is you're in a fertile void. And I love that phrase.
Could we get that on a T-shirt?
Because
fertile void, I love that.
Because it's so positive.
Yeah.
And, it's between one space and another. And so she sort of gave me the permission to, for the first time in 30 years, because I had worked my arse off for 30 years, and she gave me the permission to give myself permission to just stop for a minute, because I was incapable of focusing, quite frankly, on what the next chapter was going to be. And I was lucky enough that I didn't actually have to just go and get a job to pay the bills. So I am hugely grateful for that fact. But it did allow me that space to just say, okay, so what next? What next? And I'd always been fascinated by why do we choose to wear what we wear? And 4 or 5 years previously, I'd written the outline for this book that I decided I was going to call Discovering Your Style DNA. And at that point, I was in another slightly liminal space because I'd had a big skiing accident and I was literally hobbling around. So I had to have a few weeks off work and have my surgery and all the rest of it. And that's when I started to write. And then I got back to London and realised, no, I got a business that needs my focus. So I shelved it. But part of the outline of the book, I had done this sort of questionnaire as to how do we find our style DNA. And I sort of, as I reflected, I thought, do you know what? That questionnaire would actually make quite a lovely skeleton of a podcast questions. And so one thing led to the next. I'm fascinated by people. If ever I have a chance to read a book, it's generally a biography. And I thought, oh, good. So I could combine my fascination with people with my fascination with clothes and why we choose to wear what we wear. And that was the birth of the podcast.
Which I have been a guest on.
You have
One
been.
of my career highlights. Thank you very much, Amanda Wakeley. And I just completely agree with you. Fashion and how we express ourselves is everything. And it just boggles my mind why people think beauty and fashion is superficial when it's everything to do with power, identity, status, which is what I'm interested in. What does fashion mean to you?
Fashion means a lot to me, or style means a lot to me. Let's put it that way.
What's the
because
difference?
There's a big difference between, fashion is all about trends and what's sort of cool and relevant at that moment. Style is much more about how we present ourselves to the world, and we're all individuals. And I know the power of feeling great in that outfit that makes you feel on point and relevant and relaxed and effortless and yet powerful.
Which is everything. We all want that feeling, and it's beautiful. And that's what you help people achieve.
That's what I hope I help people achieve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me ask you, what was the moment you knew you were in your second act? Was there, because it comes for different people in different ways, but was there a moment where you were like, yes, I've got some power, I have some knowledge, I am on the other side of like this bridge of power? Like, when was it for you?
It was probably in the sort of 3rd, 4th season of Style DNA, my podcast, and I'd worked so hard for so many years and built up this knowledge, and then to be able to share it, but in an effortless way rather than a preachy way.
I so relate to that, and it is, I call it 20th century versus 21st century.
Oh, I like that.
Because, 20th century thinking, we're just like head down, grafting in the trenches, rah, 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 rah. And then 21st century, it's like, let's sit around the fire and hold hands and talk about stuff. And more collaborative and less head cheerleader, you're listening to me.
So true.
Don't you think? And I had that switch
So
as well.
true.
It's not, you're not preaching. You are just all sitting around a fire having a chat.
You're sharing.
Sharing.
And it's much kinder. And yes, I think you sort of get into this power that's a very quiet power because it comes from knowledge and experience. And actually, yes, you don't need to shout about anything. It's a kinder power.
Yeah, it's wisdom. It's sharing of
It's
wisdom.
Yeah, it's wisdom.
It's sharing of wisdom without having to, without a power grab.
Yes, there's no need to, you don't feel the need to bang your chest in any way. And I do find myself wondering if going through menopause has something to do with that for a woman. Because I think this is a huge generalization, but I think women tend to get softer and kinder once they've gone through the menopause. And I wonder whether there's something anthropological about it, whether it is we're not competing for the alpha male to breed with, to
It's so true.
perpetuate the race to whatever. So she who's never done that, actually, but never had children. And it's more about that lovely maternal sisterhood, if that makes sense.
I completely agree. Like, we've spoken about it quite a lot on the show. Like, you become an elder.
I know, but I love that.
In the most beautiful, powerful way.
Yeah.
And it's like you become, like, you share, and it's exactly that, because you don't have to, you can just elevate, like you were saying, above all that nonsense. You don't have to compete for anything, and you're just in a space where you're like, I have it to give.
Yes, and you're not, it's pointless trying to compete with the 22-year-old.
Yeah. Knock yourself out, honey.
Yeah, knock yourself out, honey. Enjoy it while you have it.
Enjoy yourself. Knock yourself out. It's okay.
It passes.
It passes. I completely agree with you. It's so interesting. And God, would you want to be 22 again?
No, thank you.
It's shocking how I would never go back to that.
I know.
Insecurity.
But isn't that the beauty of life and the privilege that we have of still being here,
yes,
quite frankly.
To move forward with grace.
Mm.
Talk to me about Amanda Wakeley, the brand, which you launched in 1990. Now, you said, thank you for sharing about you lost your brother and your business in the same 2 weeks, and that must have been devastating. What did you learn from launching your business, and what happened, if you're happy to share?
I launched my business just because I felt passionate about creating beautiful clothes to make women feel the best version of themselves. And I felt that if I was creating something that made me feel like that, then there would be other women that would feel the same. Did I have a monster business plan and a huge strategy? Absolutely not. And
you're an artist.
Yeah, so
I get it. It's like, spreadsheets are not my thing.
Yeah. And so I went on this wonderful journey. I had 30 years of creating what were beautiful things to me that made women feel wonderful. And I had the privilege of dressing Hollywood A-listers and royalty, and, and to me, the even greater privilege was the everyday woman that came into the store, and those days that I was in the store and lucky enough to see someone come out of a fitting room feeling transformed just made my day. So that was all wonderful. I mean, the business was totally a victim of COVID, and do you know what? 30 years is a phenomenal achievement. It's a big innings, and I feel so lucky to not be on that hamster wheel any longer. I look at stores stuffed with stock and the hamster wheel of fashion, and yes, it was a huge privilege, and yes, I feel great to be on the other side of it.
It is. I really believe everything happens for a reason, and you just say the universe has got my back. Thank you.
And do you know what? I think I always knew instinctively there was another act in me, another chapter in me.
Yeah. And sometimes things have to be less, like, put down so you can pick something else up.
One door has to close before another will open.
Literally.
Yeah. Quite regularly in life. I'm a big believer. And at times it's really hard to see that when you're a rabbit in the headlights and you're just in the middle of the turmoil. It's really hard to see it. But you just have to trust that there's something else out there for you.
And say thank you. Thank you to the universe.
Yes, and thank you. I had 30 incredible years, worked my arse off.
What kind of hours are we talking about?
Oh, I mean,
designers, it's next level, isn't it?
It's next level.
It's 10-hour days, 12-hour days.
Oh my God, and the rest. I mean, when I first started, I was seeing clients all day. I was making clothes well into the evening. So I was regularly putting in 14, 16, and at times 18-hour days. Yeah.
And your body takes a toll, and it was also the culture to work really hard. I worked 18-hour days and didn't blink.
Yeah.
And when you look back, you're like, that's ridiculous.
Oh, I mean, but you have the beauty of youth on your side, and I had huge stamina. But what I did realize is when I stopped, I was absolutely exhausted to the core. And I think it took me probably the best part of 2 years of trying to pace myself post Amanda Wakeley before beginning to get some of my energy back.
You don't realise the cost. I gave myself type 2 diabetes working like that because sugar was my go-go juice.
Yeah.
I would have 10 Diet Cokes. I'd have 2, sugar. And you crash. And there's a price. So for you, was it your health or you just stopped and you recovered?
I've always loved health and well-being. I've always kept very fit, but not crazily fit, but just strong and fit for the sport that I love doing. But I realised I was just shattered. I'd wake up after, and I would make a point of not setting an alarm, just sleeping as much as I could, and albeit sort of slightly disturbed sleep, but really trying to pay into the sleep bank, pay into the healthy food, kind exercise, all of that. But it had taken a massive toll. And, touch wood, I am really lucky that I was exhausted, but nothing more.
Yes. People don't realise what it takes. You have to look after yourself.
Yeah.
You are iconic. You are an iconic British institution.
And that makes me feel really old.
No, it makes you feel fabulous. And you've dressed icons like Princess Diana. What did it feel like to see her wear your designs? Did you meet her? What was she like? I mean...
It was a real privilege. It was early days Amanda Wakeley, and Princess Diana was being advised by the now late, sadly, deputy editor of Vogue, Anna Harvey. And, remember, Princess Diana was 19 when she got engaged. She was...
And a little cute Sloane Ranger with all those ruffles.
Yes, and, she didn't really have a mummy there by her side. So Anna was this just gorgeous, kind, semi-maternal, knowing, knowledgeable, fashionable, stylish, chic woman. And I'm so glad that Diana had her by her side. And I remember Anna saying to me early days, she said, I want to introduce you to the Princess of Wales, because she said, I think your style would be wonderful on her. And I also think you two would get on really well. And we did, actually. We had some really, really happy times in my tiny little showroom in Chelsea, her trying on things, laughing, chatting, gossiping.
Was she fairy energy? She feels to me like she's that ethereal fairy energy.
She was powerful, big energy. Really, she did not move into a room without people really knowing she was there in the best possible way.
So magnetic.
Magnetic, yeah.
And it was and she loved trying on clothes. Did she like fashion as well?
She loved fashion, and I was lucky enough to do quite a lot of her sort of what I'd call off-duty fashion. So I was doing lots of suedes and cashmeres and silk shirts and
it's like the dream aesthetic.
All of that, and the proper sort of quiet luxury, but back in the early 90s, and she loved that. I think she enjoyed the slight escapism of, yes, I did sort of work suits for her. In fact, she resigned from public life wearing Amanda Wakeley. But she really enjoyed the what I'd call me fashion.
Yes.
That sort of weekend.
Which is the best. And I remember, there's these whites you do. I used to call them Amanda Wakeley white. Oh, green, so beautiful and chic. But is there an outfit that she wore that you thought, oh my God, I feel like you've got the goosebumps? Is there an outfit where you just get goosebumpy about?
I mean, I got goosebumpy about the fact that she chose to wear Amanda Wakeley on a huge day in her life. Resigning from public life was huge. And I felt very honoured, actually, that she chose to empower herself wearing Wakeley on that day. And yes, and when I think back to, whether it's the current Princess of Wales to Meghan to, both of them wore Wakeley on their first public appearance.
Can I just say, that makes me a bit teary, because it's such an ode to you, because it's comfort. mixed with armour.
Yes.
And I think that's what beauty and fashion is to me.
Yeah.
It's comfort and armour.
Yeah.
And that's what you meant to these women.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
I feel really touched by it. I mean, that's important to me that they chose that.
And talk to me about Meghan Markle, who I've been very vocal about. I'm always Team Meghan all the way. And she wore Wakeley on her first outing as an engaged royal with so many eyes on the outfit. Was that pressure for you? Did you know she was going to wear one of your outfits?
We didn't really know. I mean, we knew it had been called in, but didn't know for what or for when. So, it was literally as she got out of the car, and I was like,
Did you go?
oh my God, that's what that was for.
That's amazing. Did you feel amazing?
Yeah, it was. Again, it's sort of really lovely. And then, of course, sort of 24 hours later, you completely and utterly sold out from. And I remember the following day coming into work, and my sort of head of merchandising said, "You do realise that 40 of those coats have sold overnight. They've all come in, all the orders have come in overnight from the States. And, we were just completely sold out."
It's beautiful, isn't it, when that happens?
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a good problem to have. Like, oh my God. Ho, 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 and stop searching for a simple gift and give the spectacular. The Hello Ultimate Christmas Bundle is the most generous present you can give this year. Looking for luxury that lasts? Our exclusive Ultimate Bundle doesn't just offer one subscription, oh no, but 2 annual subscriptions. One to Hello Magazine and one to Hello Fashion, plus instant full access to our special editions collection. The lucky recipient will also receive our coveted Royal Yearbook 2 printed specials from 2023 through to 2025, and 2 surprise special editions arriving in 2026. It's truly a gift that keeps on giving. Explore all our bundles and secure a spectacular present today at hellomagazine.com/subscribe. Could you talk to me about what you're doing differently in your second act compared to your first act?
I am, on a personal note, I'm trying to be kinder to myself.
Ooh.
And
what does that look like? Is it with people, food, sleep, well-being? What does kindness mean to you?
Okay, so it means a lot to me. It really does mean a lot, because I think what I did creatively was being kind to women. And yet I probably wasn't very kind to myself, because I was driving myself so hard. So well-being wise, it means that, and saying, right, I am going to try and get enough sleep. I've always eaten well. I've always exercised and looked after myself, but just trying to give it that extra edge. And also just saying, I try hard. I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And there's something so freeing about that.
Yes.
And yeah, I've got lines on my face. I'm not 22 anymore, and that's fine too. And yes, I've got grey hair and bits and there's nothing. Not trying to be too perfect.
Self-love and acceptance is the best gift you can give to yourself, and the hardest.
It really is, but it's easier. I find it's easier now, but it doesn't mean I've given up. Far from it. I try hard, and then I sort of give myself not a pat on the back, but I sort of put an arm around myself and say, do you know what, you've done everything. Just go out and enjoy the day.
That's so nice. I call it giving yourself grace.
Yes.
Giving yourself grace, which I find that very difficult to do. I'm trying harder.
But it gets easier.
It's like a muscle. You have to work. You
do.
Yeah.
You really, really do. And there's still days, you wake up and you think, oh my God, who's that in the mirror? and then you just go, do you know what? You're here. Yeah. Be grateful.
Literally.
You know people who aren't here, and let's make the most of today in their honour.
It's so true. I remember when my girls were little, because I've got twin daughters, and they were about 7 or 8, and they said, Mummy, what are those 2 cracks in your face? And I remember saying, they're called laughter lines, and it's because I've had a really good time, because I've been laughing so much in my life, and it's because they're there because I've had a good time. And I completely reframed it to be like, it's a badge of honour. How has your personal sense of style evolved over the years?
Ooh, interesting one. It's got more casual.
Oh, yes.
Definitely, because it can.
Yes.
And also I'm just dressing totally for myself right now. And I'm not trying to be anyone else, the business owner, the fashion designer, the anything. And also it somehow feels a bit cooler to just be a little bit less formal.
It
feels more youthful, let's put it that way.
And to be comfortable, that's a big one, isn't it?
That is a non-negotiable in my book. It always has been a non-negotiable. I will not ever design something or wear something that's uncomfortable. Life's too short.
Oh, I love that, because so many people, they think beauty and fashion is pain, and I'm like, no, it should be the opposite. It should be liberation.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, that suffer for fashion? Bullshit.
Thank you. That's amazing. So nothing constricting, nothing like...
I mean, I think that's why I love to cut on the bias, because it just moulded round the body in the most beautiful way of just like veiled, it was just like a veil over your body.
I'm feeling you are a very arty child. Did you love art? Did you like movement? Where did this love of fashion and movement and fabrics come from? What was your starter drug?
My starter drug was the dressing up box.
Oh.
And so I had two very glamorous grandmothers.
Yes.
And, one was sort of what I'd call glamorous country. The other was glamorous city.
Oh, you were lucky. You had the best of both worlds.
So I got all of this stuff. And the glamorous city, her husband was a, very prominent surgeon, and they would travel the world, as he lectured and all the rest of it. And she would pick up saris and just beautiful pieces of fabric on her travels and just lovely things. And, all of her clothes came from the White House it was on Bond Street at the time. And it was very traditional. And, I just remember all her silk blouses having these beautiful sort of scalloped edges. Her silk underwear was exquisite, in an era when, I would love to watch her at her dressing table in the morning, and she'd be sitting there with, silk underwear on and stockings and,
rituals.
It was beautiful. And so that sort of privilege of feeling gorgeous textures,
yes,
and that sort of melting pot of stuff which just ended up in the dressing up box. And from a very young age, I would pull things together just innately, there was instinctively, and just sort of wrap things around me. And I don't know where that came. I mean, that's innate, isn't it?
You can't teach it.
Yeah.
I call it the style gene. You either have it or you don't. You can cultivate it, but you either have it or you don't you?
It was just, I was fascinated by it. And the minute I was tall enough to be able to reach the foot of the sewing machine, I was on that sewing machine day and night.
Wow. So because I always loved clothes. I like the dream. I remember watching Gone with the Wind and thinking when she pulled down the curtains, wow.
Yes, but
wow, that green outfit she made. I thought that was amazing.
And my poor mother, I mean, I was there, tie-dyeing sheets and then chopping them up and making skirts and God knows what out of them. I mean, God knows where all that stuff went.
You had a supportive mum who let you cut the sheets up. I think that's half the battle.
She was so supportive. And my father, bless him, who was a surgeon.
Yeah.
And there was, at the time there was this beautiful fabric shop in town, and he would, probably once a month on a Saturday afternoon, he'd say, let's go into Chester Silks and let's get you a piece of fabric. And I would spend hours. Must have driven them all bonkers, and him too. But he loved colour. He loved glorious things. And, I'll have half a metre of this and 3/4 of a metre of that. And then I would come back and literally use every scrap of the silk.
It was precious to you.
It was so precious to me.
And what a gift. I think when you have parents who see your artistry and they fan the flames of it, that's really a privilege rather than being like, no, you're going to be a forensic accountant, if you like it or not.
I was really, really lucky.
Yes. I love that. So you are now 63.
Thanks for reminding me. In my head, Ateh, I'm sort of 40-ish.
You know what? Everyone has a spiritual age. I was 19. It's crept up to 23. So you're a powerful 40.
Yeah, I'm totally in my power.
But 63 is glorious. What has this decade meant to you?
Do you know what? I am not a big believer, and I don't want to sound too woo-woo about this, about repeating my age.
Yeah.
Because I think you repeat it, you become it.
And the stigma on all the...
No, it's not even the stigma. Yeah. You wire your brain to become it.
Yes.
And I think it's really important not to do that. I mean, I feel pretty ageless. I look after myself. God knows what's around the corner. But I don't believe in saying 63. I don't act it. I don't feel it. I don't really want to be it. And I'm not in denial. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be here, but I don't want to wire my brain into thinking I'm in this decade.
You know what? That makes complete sense to me. And shall I tell you a really weird story I read about a guy trapped, stay with me, in a refrigerating van because he was a delivery driver. He went round the back and he got locked in.
Oh God, this is sounding like my worst nightmare.
And
but carry on.
Literally, they found him the next day dead. Oh. And he had written stuff all over the walls, like saying, like his account of it. And he was saying, it's getting colder. I'm feeling really like I'm going and da-da-da-da-da. And then he's like, tell my family goodbye. And they found out that it wasn't actually cold. It was all in his head. And his brain made him think he was dying because it was too cold.
Well, a brain.
And I was like, and that's what you're saying. He's like, I'm stuck in a refrigerator. It had actually had a fault, and he was all right. It was like it was cold, but it wasn't kill me cold.
Yeah.
But his brain killed him.
Yeah. And I
Does
think
that make sense about programming?
We know a fraction of what our brains can do, but I mean,
that story makes me think of you saying, no, like I'm. Yeah. Don't be stuck in the fridge and think, oh, well, I'm stuck, I'm going to die. No, I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's so
I mean, our brains are so powerful. So let them be. Let them get on with their work.
And you get on with your life, being fabulous. Talk to me, what has been your biggest learning since starting your second act?
I think, what's been my biggest learning since starting my second act? I think that it's so invigorating to have our toes held close to the fire, that it's really exciting and we shouldn't be scared of it, that, you know, feel the heat and keep going anyhow. Yes. You know, if we're lucky enough to be here to have these second and third and fourth acts, just go for it.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. And you will be scared. And I remember my first recording, I was fucking terrified. Then I look back on it and I'm really proud that I just did it. I just powered through it. And yes, it's scary, but I do believe you only regret what you don't do, not what you did, or at least tried to do.
Can I ask you, because I'm asking for myself, and I know the listeners, what's a lot of things that stop you and stop me is judgment and fear of failure.
Totally.
And the ego. What advice do you have for that? Because it's hard.
It's really hard. So remember, I was coming from a place of quite a high place to fall from. I had a big career for 30 years. And I just thought, sod it. What have I got to lose? Nothing. Just what I've got to lose is the possibility of not giving this a go.
Yeah.
You know, what's the worst that can happen? It's a flop.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't life or death. This is me trying to create something new and perhaps exciting and perhaps fabulous and perhaps that will touch people's lives and people will have those lovely moments of, God, yeah, I feel like that. And so you're hopefully being entertaining and you're sharing knowledge. So just don't be scared to give it a go, because the only person that you're going to let down is you.
If you don't try.
Yes, if you don't try, yes.
Yeah, and if it all goes to pot and things fail or the things go away, how do you dust yourself up and pick yourself up? Well, that's what I find really difficult.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. And all those naysayers, they can sod off.
Yeah.
They're not, your friends and your family want you to thrive. And anyone who doesn't shouldn't be around you.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what they think.
It doesn't matter. I mean, life is for triers to me.
Yeah.
And not for people who, just give it a go.
Yeah.
Don't be frightened.
I love that. Is there any advice you'd give to midlife women who want to dress better? We hear this again and again in Second Act about feeling stuck in a rut. Your life has changed, your circumstances have changed, and you don't know how to dress for who you are now. Like, I've lost 7 stone, Amanda. I've got divorced. I'm a different person.
7 stone,
I've
missus.
lost a person. I've lost Kylie Minogue. I feel Kylie Minogue 7 stone. I feel I've lost a Kylie Minogue off of me. It's again, you have a new identity. I'm divorced. I'm in my late 40s, and so many women are in that same space of like, how do you dress a new body or a new circumstance?
Well,
what do you do?
I've written a book.
Yes, buy it.
No, it hasn't come out yet, so I'm a bit early on saying that. But first things first is try and dig into who you are. What makes you feel good for you, not for what a husband or an ex-husband or a boyfriend or a partner or a child may think of you or want you to be. How do you want to feel? And the lovely thing is, you can scroll through Instagram, you can scroll through Pinterest or whatever, and you can be inspired and let yourself be inspired. And I would suggest that you're inspired by someone that has a similar build and colouring to you, because it's going to be easier that way. And although, having said that, you look at sort of Kylie Jenner, who is just ageless and so inspiring to all ages. But just try and find a couple of what I call style icons.
That's interesting.
And you can start screenshotting it and just build a little album and just work out, what are they doing that would work for you and make you feel good?
And do you look at your shape? Like, I've got the biggest boobs in the world. I'm an hourglass. So do you look around building shape, or do you like texture or colour? Like, what do you do?
Just don't get too hung up on rules. I hate rules just in principle.
Yes.
I do think it helps if you can find an icon or two who has a similar shape to you, or not a million miles off.
And then,
and then you can see, okay, so these are working. This is working on her curves. It's going to work on me. Or this is working on her colouring. Or actually, I don't like that colour on her skin colour. Learn from it.
Yes.
And just experiment and just sort of try and start building a little bit of a mood board as to what the new you could look like. Because you may kids have flown the nest, you might be embarking on a new chapter of your life, you might be newly single, you might be postmenopausal, different body, all of those different things. Just be kind to yourself and say, okay, I am what I am. Let me find a couple of other women or men or whatever who look not dissimilar to me, that I like their style or I'm inspired by their style, and work out why you're inspired by it, and just try and sort of imagine yourself in it, and then just get out there and try some things on and take mirror selfies of yourself, often with the camera in front of your face. So that you don't get distracted by the fact you're pulling a face, or you haven't got any makeup on, or your hair doesn't look as good as it should, or whatever. Just be kind to yourself and just slowly try and work out what you think is working for you. And remember, when you put something on, how does it feel? How does it make you feel? Not just how does it feel to touch,
but your shoulders back, head up.
And that's why I say take a mirror selfie, because your body language will tell you a hell of a lot.
So true. When I take a mirror selfie and I'm feeling myself, Amanda, I always stand like Henry VIII. I have a hand on my hip. I feel really, because I go for power.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, it's working. I'm looking like Henry VIII.
So there you go.
So
there you go.
funny.
So it does work.
It does work. I love that tip. It's amazing. Lastly, if you can go back in a time machine, second act Amanda is whizzing back in time. What would you say to first act Amanda?
Do you know what? I'm not one for regrets. I think we do what we do for a reason, and hopefully we've learnt from those lessons and we evolve. And it is what it is. It was what it was. And I'm not a big one on over therapizing things. If I'm honest, just crack on.
So you'd go back and go, keep doing what you're doing, Amanda, because it's brilliant on the other side.
Yeah, because you're part of this amazing journey and you're trying really hard. Good on you, girl.
Oh, so you'd be a cheerleader to yourself?
I would be a cheerleader to myself.
I love that. It's time for your second act, where we read emails and voice notes sent in by you, my wonderful listeners, and this one is from Fern. Hi, Ateh. I'm turning 70 next year and equal parts excited and scared for this new chapter. I don't want to have to dress my age. I love fun, colourful outfits, but I do feel self-conscious when I'm out and about, worrying if people are judging me. Do you have any advice? Amanda, what do we think?
Ignore the judgment. Just get on and wear what makes you feel as fabulous as you do. And there is no such thing as age appropriate, in my view. None. If you feel good in it, just go with it.
I know what you're thinking, Fern. You've got that 20th century mutton dressed as lamb motto that we were all, Gen X women were all brought up with. Can we put that down?
Totally. Sod it. Wear what brings you joy.
Amanda, I will give you my highest compliment, which is to call you a shield maiden, because I love Viking culture. And shield maidens were the warriors of their time who not only could kick ass, but they defended and they were there for other people and their clans or their villages. You are the ultimate shield maiden. Thank you so much.
That is
coming.
such a lovely thing to say, because as a woman designing for women, it's always been my mission just to make women feel great. And I feel like in this next chapter with the book coming through and all the rest of it, I feel like I'm continuing on that journey, but in a different way.
Yeah, protection and providing and being there for your community. Shield maiden Amanda Wakeley, thank you for joining us on Second Act.
Oh, thank you, Ateh. It's been such fun.
Thanks so much for listening. And if you've got a dilemma or question you need answering, please email me at secondactpod@hellomagazine.com. And don't forget to rate us if you've loved the show. And you can find all the best second act wisdom from our experts via the Hello Magazine website. And I'll see you next week.